Today, inshallah, we will go through a very interesting session. Again, we are still in human resources management, which is basically focusing on how we are going to manage employees. Last session, we have went through a very interesting theories, which is related to how we are going to manage employees, a very important one. Also, the good thing is that you are going to take those theories in detail in next year, inshallah. In September, if you are going to take LB170 again, you are going to take these details in those theories. So because management is linked together. Every single theory or subject is related to another. So if you are going to study human resources, you are going to study communication skills. If you are going and how you are going to satisfy your employees as an internal customers. So again, it's linked all together, but assessment will be different from one subject to another. So today, inshallah, we are going to go through a very interesting class, which let's just use this one. We are going to go, as I have stated, in human resources management, and we are going what is basically the process of recruiting candidates. Okay, it is a very important for anyone who is interested in human resources, in HR. Salim or Awad? Malak, okay. Manar, she is interested in HR, okay. It is a very good program or subject if you are going to stay in human resources management. But what the most important thing is that you should know the bylaws of your organization. Okay, you should know the bylaw of your organization in order to just okay, to continue on human resources management. It is basically general system track. It is a bit wide and broad discipline, but human resources is specific. And in some universities, they do have only a special track in human resources. So we do have in our college system track and marketing and accounting. And I think also in Kuwait, in HQ, they do, I think, if you visit their websites, they do have human resources track or management, or in Bahrain. So if you are going to be specific or specialized in your study, is better, because if you are going to apply for a job, they sometimes ask for human resources undergrad certificate. So it has a bright future, by the way, guys. Human resources. So basically, as we usually guys do in order to make you engaging in the class, what do you think of human resources? What basically the main functions of HR? Yes, Malak. Recruiting, definitely. Zainab? Motivating employees, okay. Job responsibilities, very important. You can link it also, Ashraf, to job description. Also, it is related to HR and as hiring employees. Good. Try to satisfy employees, Dana. Abrar, okay, it is general answer, Abrar. Zainab giving out, okay. Employees performance. Shahad meeting procedure, okay. Ashraf employee evaluation, very interesting, guys. Very interesting. And you can also, in order to be more specific, it is related to a process. You can link human resources management as a process, a continuum one. That means it is يعني its duties is a continuum in the organization. That means every single employees in the organization has a relationship with the HR department. But nowadays, most of organization they have shifted to EHR or more. They are applying more systems or electronic versions of managing employees in order to keep data, following up with the latest performance and others. So HR is related to every single activity or duty which is going to be related to a human resources needs, a very important one. If you remember in I think week 2 or 3, when we have stated that marketing is related to consumers' needs. This is basically the marketing perspective. They are focusing on what consumers need and the organization is going to fill it in. HR is simply focusing on employee and individual and employees' needs in the organization. Finance, they are mainly focusing in cash management. Operation, how the goods and services will be delivered to consumers smoothly and easily. So management, the good thing about management is each duties or task is connected with another. So every organization, whether if it's small or big or mega, they need someone who is specialized in HR, in finance, in operation, in marketing, because they are collaborative. They're working all together in running the business. Also, HR is related to looking for a new candidate. After that, there should be some training. They should know what basically they are going to do in order to fulfill those type of needs. Basically, you can see this title in some organization, they did not call it as human resources, they call it as personal management. What is basically the role of personnel or human resources is to work side by side with managers to maximize employees' satisfaction. This is the mainly the point which manager should focus on. How they are going to make employees satisfied by setting just the rules. They should set the rules and then they should apply it. So for example, when you are going to introduce employee for the first time in the company, he should or she should know basically what are main job descriptions. What is basically the task that I am going to do? This is important because employees, they should know what is their rights and what they have to do, what is the obligations, in order to make it easy for them to do their tasks. Again, they should know basically the deadlines for each task that they are given in order to know how they are going to work. And as you have seen in the most of human resources department, recently, maybe before 2 to 3 years, they have shifted to increasing hiring females. So nowadays you can see GMs or general managers from the female, or sometimes as a deputy of top managers or ministers in some, I think in Ministry of Investment or Trade, I think they do have vice minister from the female. So it is nowadays become common for a female to be in high positions in organizations. And also multinational, which is not necessarily, Ashraf, because by the end of the day, think of the percentage. The female, usually they are more than male. Think of in families. Sometimes you do have sisters more than brothers. You do have sometimes 3 to 4 sisters and maybe 1 or 2 brothers, one or 2 males. So it is percentage. They are almost higher than male. So they are trying, those who are in the decision making, to balance between the unemployment rate between male and female. If you can see in 20, I remember 20 or 2012-13, it is almost 70% of unemployment for the female. Here I'm talking about KSA. So they do have a high percentage of unemployment. So for that reason, they want to make a balance, at least to reduce it to almost 30 or 25, which is acceptable percentage for unemployment rate, whether in male or female. I mean in total, not in details for unemployment rate. So basically what we should do in order to manage the human resources management, what basically aspects or tactics that we are going to use in order to manage the human resources. First of all and foremost, we should have what we can call it plan. We should know basically why why candidates want to join organization. This is the most important question. And then you should ask yourself as an HR officer why employees are leaving. Okay, especially in the semi-government nowadays organization, sometimes employees, they want to join organization for different reasons, for salaries, for working environment, for having its specialties, meeting its requirement, whatever يعني for the geographical يعني location, for different يعني reasons candidates want to join organization. But sometimes we should think of why employees are leaving. So what do you think, guys? Why usually employees leaving organization? Is it only because of money? Or sometimes there is يعني behind, as we can call it, scene reasons. Maybe they are finding better job. Okay. Is it only because of money? Yes, العنود. Okay. Unfair directive. Uncomfortable environment. Money is one of important a very good point. يعني أشرف, are you employee or you're still student? Business owner. Okay, because your point makes sense. One of the most important factors employees are leaving organization, they don't know basically what they are going to do. They don't have job description. They don't have a manual for duties and tasks. They a bit lost. So they prefer just to leave the organization, look for a better one. And yes, sometimes they do have an experience. As I guys يعني have good relationship with هدف organization if you are familiar with it. هدف organization, which is in King Fahd Road if you are in Riyadh, which is basically they are focusing on يعني developing skills for newcomers to the labor market. The point is that to reduce turnover as much as they can, because they knew that يعني there is a huge turnover between organizations, especially for newcomers. So for example, if you have graduated from Arab Open University and you do have a very good certificate, and the most important thing is that you do have a very good knowledge, because nowadays some HR managers, they are looking for يعني knowledge rather than certificates. So if you do have a very good knowledge in HR, in marketing, in finance, in operation, in accounting, in whatever يعني your discipline is, you are going to be hired. But mainly they want to reduce your turnover, because by maybe 1 or 2 years you are expecting to leave the organization, finding a better one for different reasons. And here we now we should assist on knowledge. I remember in one of by the way in an interview, in job interview, I have asked, I remember she was a female, and she was specialized in human resources. So I have just asked her if you can name 1 or 2 of the new programs that organization now deal with in managing human resources. She said, unfortunately, I get to use in a company with only a pen and paper. That's fine. We should not ask organization to apply a new automation software, but the most important thing, you as a candidate, you as an employee, you should know what is basically the new update in your discipline, in your major. So if you don't know basically how human resources organization managed in other sectors, this is a problem. This is a hardship, because you may sometimes leave that company and go to another which they have apply it, and you may face difficulties. So it is very important to build on your own knowledge, because you are going to have a certificate, which is a paper saying that you are specialized in system track, accounting, in marketing. But the most important thing is that you should have good knowledge. If you don't, wallahi, you may face problems. How we are going to plan for the human resources needs, we should basically determine, we should know how and why employees want to join our organization, and also we should know basically the number of employees in that companies. So it is a very important to know how many employees do you have, and also you should know how many employees they are going to leave your organization for different reasons. يعني a very basic reasons due to retirement. Your employees, they have already reached 60, 62. So definitely they are going to leave. And the most important thing is you as an HR person or officer, you should know who is going to be replaced in order to avoid a problem misleading or difficulties. Okay, having it in forecasts, that means you should plan, you should know who is going to join you and why. And the most important here is also to know why they are going to join you. So for example, if you are a bank, why do you want to hire a new employee in customer service or in finance or in cooperative or in capital? If you are, for example, an education organization like Arab Open University or Al Faisal or Al Yamama, you are expecting to have employees in admin and registration, in examination, in academic staff. So all these organization, if you are in a factory, in a plant, again, you do have different job requirements. So again, here is a good point. Sometimes organization, they don't have to hire employees immediately via their organization. What they usually they do, they just give it to outsource company. What do we mean, guys, by outsourcing? Freelancers, thank you, Zainab. That means you are going to give your tasks and duties for someone, for outsourced company to do it. For example, it's hiring employees. Especially, I remember in, wallahi, I forget the name. One of the banks, I think Samba, or, wallahi, I forget the name. They are hiring, or they do have an agency for hiring candidates. So what is happening is that the bank give that agency a list of requirements. We need someone with experience in human resources, in customer service, in operation, in business, in marketing, in accounting. We need with the special characteristics, with the special description. And then the agency is going to look for those candidates, make those interviews, write reports, sending them immediately to the bank. The good thing is that sometimes it is cost saving. They are going to reduce the cost. But the problems or the negative side is that sometimes they are going to face difficulties with that type of agencies. Job analysis. Again, it is. Yes, thank you, Ashraf. We are going to come to this point afterwards. Job analysis, again, which is linked to planning human resources. You should make analysis, a detailed analysis regarding what jobs do you need and where is the shortage, what type of employees you don't want, any employees you do want to leave them. So all these are related to tasks and jobs which you are going to need, and the most important thing, you should link it to your requirements. So for example, you do have an accountant, you need to have someone who is specialized in accounting. You have a shortage in marketing team or marketing staff, again, you should hire someone who is specialized in marketing. You can apply this on different types of departments. So you should know basically what capabilities, what majors, what duties, what tasks you need in order to hire the right person. So in this case, you are going to apply the right person in the right position. And here, guys, because now you are still in first year undergrad, I just give you this advice which is related to employing your skills. Okay, most of our companies and also human resources manager nowadays, they are looking for skills which is related to how you are going to use your capabilities. Like, for example, a very simple questions, Excel sheet. You are expecting to use Excel sheet, but the question is that, are you familiar with Excel sheet, how you are going to use it? This is a basic skill which you should know it, especially in accounting, if you are specialized in accounting. Softwares like SPSS, STAT, ABS, EBA, because now, as I have stated earlier, guys, most of the organization nowadays, they are developed, they are using softwares. So if you are not familiar with those softwares, that means you are going SAP system, Malak, Oracle also. So you are going to face difficulties. For that reason, it is very important to build your own skills before joining labor market or organizations, because it is now an important for candidates. If you are interested in PR or marketing, you should know how you are going to use montage videos. Okay, a very important one, using montage, like Basics, the movie one. So these skills which organization and the human resources managers looking for. They don't want someone who is already specialized in human resources, in accounting or finance. We agree that they need, but my point is that they need someone with those type of skills. As you know, guys, job is competitive, and job analysis sometimes to be severe. Okay. Job description and job specification, very important two terms which human resources officers should be familiar with. The job description, which is basically, it is a form, written explanation of a specific job. It should be including job title, what is your position, what are your tasks, relationship with other jobs, physical or mental, duties, responsibilities, and working condition. Very important one. Okay, to think of those which is related to job description. So what do you think, guys, of the main duties of an accountant? What he is usually do? Salaries, Malak, okay. What else? Bonuses? What else? Okay. Feeling good, Anas? Interesting. Abrar accounting data report. Very good. This is basically what usually an accountant duties and task in organization. It's يعني it can be there is يعني a difference between big companies and the small ones, or a micro or a mega companies. So, but basically, this is the main duties of accountant. You should be responsible for making salaries, revising balance sheet income and outcome, thinking of bonuses, reduce or salaries deduction, redemptions. So all these are related to that type of duties. Job specification, which is related to a very clear description of the qualification which is necessarily lead for a specific job, whether or it can be in physical or in mental characteristics. So for examples, yes, Modi, think of accountant, that means he or she should have an accounting certificate. Marketing, he should be specialized in a marketing qualification. Operation, the same. So you can have different qualification with different tasks. But the problem is that if you are specialized in finance and you do marketing duties, this is a problem. What do you think of this scenario, guys? Yes, Molly? A very big one, Anas. Modi, experience. That means it's good, Molly. You are or you have a certificate in an accounting or finance, and you do marketing duties, you do advertising. Wallahi, a big issue. I don't agree. So what is the point from studying finance? So you should be يعني specialized in your major. job description and also specification used to be for recruiting purposes. First of all, or the steps that you are going to find your employees by forming a very wide CVs from applicant in order to select your employee. Sometimes you are going to do it from an internal sources like current employees, and sometimes, as Ashraf stated, you will go to LinkedIn sources. Are you familiar, guys, with LinkedIn? Do you have an account in LinkedIn, Anas? Malak, you do have an account, okay? What is the point of LinkedIn, guys? Why we should have LinkedIn? Okay. Yep. Very important, because as I have stated, guys, human resources officer nowadays find a candidate on LinkedIn, which you should update your CV, you should update your profile in order to find a job in or via LinkedIn. Recruiter usually, or HR officers, okay, usually using social networks in order to find candidate. Think of Facebook. Imagine only maybe 53% HR officers using Facebook to find candidate. Think of Snapchat, almost zero. Snapchat, almost zero. What do you think? Why? Why HR officers, they don't use Snapchat for hiring employees? Snapchat is personal. What else? Do you think that there is no clear profile? Snap, okay. Wallahi, I don't believe in Snapchat. I think it's only for fun. And making advertisements. I totally agree. Snapchat, wallahi, I will not use it for hiring employees. But think of YouTube. YouTube, almost 21 or 20%. 20% YouTube, which makes sense. Twitter is a very good one. Almost 50. 48 something. Because Twitter is related to how you are going to show what do you have to others in a written manner. Yes, definitely we agree, Talal. Number one is LinkedIn. Number one is LinkedIn. Number two, maybe Facebook. Wallahi, for me, I will make Twitter number two, Facebook number three, maybe YouTube number four. For me, I will go for this classification for hiring in organization. LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Instagram, as you can see, it's mainly again like Snapchat for fun. Google almost. I think Google Plus is closed. We don't have Google Plus. Glassdoor. Okay, so we are almost here, guys. What do you want to find the job? Just focus on LinkedIn and Twitter. Okay, think of LinkedIn and Twitter. These are the most important social networks where you can find jobs. Okay. Selection, which is the process that you are going to select your employees. It is a process of collecting related information about applicants, using that information to make the decision. This including applications, interviewing, testing, reference checking. What do you think of reference checking, guys? A very important. I will tell you this story, guys. It is indeed a must thing. I remember once we have an interview with a candidate, and the committee of hiring asked for a reference. He said, I will try to provide you. I don't have current one, but maybe it's not necessarily. If you do have anything, just try to ask me. But we insisted to have a reference. And when we asked reference, why that employees left your organization, he said he did not left. He was fired. A very important. That employee was fired, and he did not mention it in the CV or in the interview. He was fired because he did something which is unacceptable. Okay? So what do you think? Why employees usually fired? What is the reason? The common one. يعني لماذا يفصل الموظف؟ Yes, Modi. A very bad one, Malak. Not only a bad behavior, a very bad. He committed something which is not acceptable. Unethical, definitely, Ashraf. Definitely. So what do you think, guys? What? No, he's not downsizing Salim. He did يعني something, wallahi, it's unexpected for that employee. But the question is that, do you think that you should you should say why you left the company if it is a bad. Yes, sometimes Salim. And do you think, the reason is that Wallahi, will be frank, because he was taking some photos of documents and publishing it on WhatsApp. This is the reason. Okay? He was just taking photos, informal reports for the organization and publishing in WhatsApp. So the company decided to just fire him. Definitely, Zainab, because this is unacceptable behavior. Who give you the rights to publish this information to the publics on social media? So the company just say, we are not going to take you to the court. It's a legal issue. We are just going to fire you. It is indeed, Dana. So again, guys, yes, Ashraf, again to the question, do you think that you should, as a candidate, you should say why you left the company if it is a bad side? You should say that you was fired because of the reason that you did, or you should keep quiet, or what do you think? Dana, yes, you should be honest. But maybe if you say why you have fired, maybe the organization, they will not hire you, They will say maybe, okay, if you are fired because of that reason, why we should hire you again? Malak, I can't say, okay. Wallahi, for me, it's depend on what I have did. If it's like the example, the real example that I have stated, Wallahi, he should be honest. He should, I did a mistake, take photos from organization report, and the company decided to fire me. He should be honest. He should be clear. The most important thing is that don't lie, okay? Don't lie. A very important one. Don't lie. Try to be honest and true. Okay, Zainab. Good. The application, which should be related to your CVs, how you're going to apply it. Again, as I have stated, guys, mainly now HR officers, they are thinking in LinkedIn or social media in general platforms, rather than just only writing your CV, which is a very long process sometimes, and you do have some mistakes in it. as I have stated, guys, most of companies nowadays, they are going for online application, like as you have stated, Bait.com, LinkedIn, Twitter or YouTube. Most of these are a good place to look for candidates, new employees. In your application, it should be more specific regarding how you are going to behave, what skills do you have, what previous experiences that you have did or went through. Interview, which is a very important component of human resources management or officers, where they are going to interview candidates. Okay, and here you should be very punctual regarding your interview. I remember one story in job interview, and when we have asked the candidate, can you please tell us about your weaknesses? He said, I apologize, I don't have any weaknesses. What do you think of that answer? No, seriously, Anas. We are talking serious. It's mistake. Wrong answer. Thank you, Salim. It is indeed. No one without shortage. No one complete. But he was, yes, he was Shahad exaggerated. He wants to give the committee that I don't have any shortage. I am complete. I am like angel. So please don't tell me about my weaknesses. I don't have anyone. So this is a mistake. And by the way, he did not hire Diani. So you should know how you are going to answer the questions which is related to your own personality in the interview. I remember also one, he said, my big weaknesses is that I have a high temper, okay? I get angry easily. So sometimes I get a fight with employees. Again, this is a problem. He said, what I should do, this is from Allah. Again, you should treat yourself. You should find a way. If you are going, if we as a company going to hire you and you are going to fight with everyone, wallahi, we are not in organization. We are going to be in different direction of managing our employees. Or I remember he was I forget. I think he was in the MAM. I remember he was in the MAM, and we did interview with him. And he is in. He was in finance. He specialized in finance. But unfortunately, wallahi, I didn't know how he get that certificate. He does not know what is finance. He does not know what is basically the task of finance employee in the organization. He does not know the difference between balance sheet and cash flows. He did not know what is the financial position of the organization. He does not know what is the main functions of finance in the organization. He does not know what is the difference between finance and accounting. Wallahi, how he has a certificate in finance? Unfortunately, we did not hire him. And also, I think he's going to face a difficulty in finding a job because he does not know. He just only has a paper which says that this name has a bachelor degree in finance. This is a very big issue. So you should be cautious about your knowledge. Organization, employees, they don't know someone with just only a certificate. They need the knowledge. If he does not know what is the difference between finance and accounting, why I should give him salary? Here is a very good slide which is related to most common questions which you may face in the interview. So what do you think of from number one? I remember also a story which we have in job interview when we ask the candidate to, can you just interview yourself to the committee? He said, my name is blah, blah, blah. I am a very simple man, full stop. Is this a very good introduction? Absolutely no. What do I have to do with you as a simple person? Who cares if you are a simple person or hard? I should know who are you, what basically your certificate, what your experience is, what do you know, how you are going to, how did you reach our organization? I am simple man. Who cares? I don't know. Number two, which is again, you should think carefully regarding answers. Why should we hire you? A very important one. Why we should hire you? Again, here is a very important question. What is your future goals? He said, Wallahi, I don't have any future goal. I think I am fine now. If you don't know where you are going to be in the future, again, this is a problem. How come you don't know what you are going to be in the future? How come you don't have a strategic plan for yourself? This is not good. Indeed, he's stupid and funny. You are just using the right word, Yasmin. You don't have future jobs. Big problem. Your education, have you been a team player? Again, a very important question, because sometimes we get different answer from candidate. I remember one candidate replies, he said, I can't work with a team. I can work alone. This big problem. You should develop your skills in working with teams. Your weaknesses, again, as I have stated, how your professors, if they do have, what is your qualities that make you difference, if you are going to be back in the time, what things you are going to be change. Mistakes, which is again a very important in interview. Sometimes you are being funny, not taking interview seriously. This is a big problem. You should be a very respectable person interview. not dressing appropriately, like coming to the interview with pajama. Not appropriately discussing your abilities, education. Or not being modest about your accomplished. Or a very important point, number 5, what do you think? Talking too much. Big problem. Just only talking for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Talkative. Just only talking. Compensation. And here also again, it is a very important point. What do you think of those who are talking very bad about previous employer? Not good. You should be frank, you should be honest, you should be modest and unethical honest. Not asking enough or appropriate questions, enthusiasm, following up with the interview. What do you think of this question from Haya? Which one of the animals you look like? Wallahi, this is the first question I see. I don't know if they are asking it in the job interview. Wallahi, big question. Yani. Sometimes you face a difficulty in answering it. Testing, a very important one. And I remember by testing, which is nowadays by law, it is a step which you are going to test your ability. I remember one of the stories in testing, the candidate, he did not or he was not able to use the Microsoft Word. Imagine, he is not familiar with Microsoft Word. We are in 2020 and we still, someone does not know how to use the Microsoft Word. It was wallahi a shock. He passed the interview. He was fine. But when it comes to the practical test, we give him a test to write a report on Microsoft Word. He said, wallahi, sorry, I don't know how to use it. Big problem. Personality test, again, with some organization they use in order to know what basically consume candidates they are having in intelligent or in other IQ, for example, attitude, aptitude in organization. Some of it they do, and sometimes they face problems in applying it. Here you can do, and you have a time on you. Reference checking, as we have stated, guys, very important step before hiring you as a candidate. You should have reference checking in order to know what previous experience you did. Okay, it should be from your educational background. It should be an ethical one. It is very good if it's from your previous managers, which is very important in order to know, what things you did from you as a potential employee. Okay. In order to link and check it. So we have reached our final slide for today. Questions, comment? We have finished quiz number 1, guys. And next, inshallah, month, and maybe in the first week of July, we're going to have the second quiz, and your final will be, inshallah, in late July. By this week, from now we have almost 3 weeks. So we maybe 2 weeks, 2, 3, and we are going, inshallah, to finish summer, because summer, as I have stated, is condensed and very short. Condensed and very short. It's only 6 weeks to finish. From me, wish you best of luck. We are going to meet again, inshallah, next week at the same time, the same place. From me, wish you best of luck. If you do have any question, feel free to ask here, or know if it is clear on your course calendar. As I have stated, guys, I received maybe, but I think they are not in my session. They missed the quiz, and unfortunately there is no makeup for the quiz. They are going to be awarded 0. They said, wallahi, we slept all day. So this is not an excuse, and unfortunately they lose their grades. Thank you very much, guys. Talal Dana.